All right, welcome back to another episode here on the McHugh Insurance Group YouTube channel. I'm your host, as always, Hunter McHugh. And the topic I want to talk about today is independent agents and brokers and what the hell it is we even do, some of the benefits behind using an independent agent when you're shopping for your insurance. So, from a really high level perspective, what independent agents do, they are a broker between you and the insurance companies. Independent agents typically will partner with multiple carriers. Some cases it's 2 or 3, some cases it's 20 to 30. And their job is to take your information and send it out to the carriers they work with to find you the best option. Very simply put. There are, however, a handful of other different ways to buy your insurance, and some that have become a lot more popular nowadays, one of which is buying your insurance online, whether it's your home and auto insurance, just going online and getting a quote. And then the other way is to buy it from a captive agent. That would be, for example, a State Farm or a Liberty Mutual, somebody that you're buying it from direct that only represents that one company, okay? So when we look at your different ways, your different options of buying your insurance, you have 3 of them essentially. One is to buy it from an independent agent, somebody who works with a handful of carriers that in any given situation represents the customer to those carriers. The other is to go ahead and buy it online in that situation where you're taking on the role as an agent and an insurance professional, which I don't advise and we'll talk about. And then the last is to buy it directly from a direct agent with a captive carrier, somebody that they only represent one company. So in any given transaction, they are representing the company they work for versus representing you, the customer. So let's talk a little bit more about independent agents and brokers. And now really we're talking about your home and auto insurance and maybe life insurance and how this can come into play for you when you're buying your insurance. One of the biggest benefits to working with an independent agent is that they can shop out your programs to a bunch of different carriers, all by just getting the information from you one time. Meaning they'll get the information on your home, they'll get the information on your auto, whatever it may be. You have to do the work one time, and then they send out your information to the carriers and they do all of the work for you. Okay? Alternatively, if you went online, you'd have to quote your insurance with each different carrier that you could quote online. And the problem there is, one, not just the time that goes into it, but also most of the carriers and some of the carriers that have the best rates, sometimes you can't access them online. You can only access them through an independent agent. And then the alternative is you go and you shop it through a captive agent, somebody who only represents one company, like a State Farm or a Progressive or something like that. And the issue there is they are only comparing your rates with one carrier. They're only offering you one product, whereas with an independent agent, you would have somebody who can go out and do all of the shopping for you with as many carriers as they have access to, which is why it's so important when you're picking a broker to work with, if you choose to work with a broker, that you find somebody who has enough options for carriers to go to, so that way you know you're getting the best deal at any point in time as it relates to whatever programs you're trying to shop out, okay? The other piece that I want to talk about between these 3 different ways to buy your insurance that's very important to understand is who it is that the insurance agent you're working with is representing at any given time, okay? And what I mean by that is when you talk about an independent insurance agent, and I mentioned this earlier, but talk about an independent insurance agent in any transaction, whether it be buying your insurance, quoting it, handling claims, etc., they are representing you, the customer. Their goal is to work for you and to help you through the process. They don't while they offer the products of different companies, they don't represent those companies. On the other hand, you have captive agents who are representing the one carrier that they work with in any given scenario. So if it's a claim, if it's selling their products, trying to push whatever financial goals their company has, they represent the company, not the customer. Alternatively, if you were to go and buy your insurance online, you effectively have no representation and you are representing yourself, when you're buying your insurance, whether you're going through claims, etc. Sure, they have call centers, but you are the representative for yourself. In most cases, the reason I don't recommend this is because you're not an insurance professional and you don't have to be to buy your insurance. You just want to work with somebody who is. So that way, when you're going online, we talk about the scenario of buying your insurance. If you buy it online and you don't have somebody who's a professional to guide you through what it is your exposures are and how to best protect them and how to get the best rates while doing it, you're going to be taking a shot in the dark, and you're either going to end up buying the cheapest thing out there, which is going to leave you with not enough coverage, or you're going to overpay for something that you didn't need. So representation is a huge, huge piece to think about when you're trying to determine how you want to buy your insurance. I get it. Buying insurance online is extremely convenient. You could do it in the middle of the night. You don't have to talk to anybody. You put your information in and you pay for it and it's done, and now you have coverage. But what you don't realize is what you may be missing out in that scenario. And like I mentioned, on the other hand, if you go through a captive agent, you don't know if what they're offering you is the best option out there that the market has to offer, okay? The last piece I really want to talk about, and this kind of piggybacks on representation, is claims handling and service in general. One of the biggest things for us at our agency is to be their the point of contact for our clients in any given scenario. Whether it's a claim situation, a billing situation, they need policy documents, etc. When you work with an independent agent or a broker, typically, in most cases, they should be your initial point of contact. If you have a coverage question, if you have a claim, anything like that, they should be the first person you talk to. Why? Because they sold you the product, they found that program for you, they should know it inside and out, and they can offer you advice on how to proceed moving forward. If you're buying your insurance online, you know what's going to happen and you know what to expect. You're going to call in to an 800 number, you're going to sit on hold for a while, and you're going to get, you guessed it, a representative of that insurance company rather than somebody who's there to represent you, who can guide you along the way. They have total control in that situation. And lastly, if you're going through a direct or a captive agent who only represents one carrier, you're going to get the same thing. You're going to get passed on to a service center, an 800 number. You're going to sit on hold. And again, you are going to end up talking to a representative of that company, not somebody who represents you. Now, that's not to say that independent agents have this magic wand that they can wave that automatically gets you everything you're looking for. But do not undervalue what it is an independent agent can bring to the table for you when it comes to buying your insurance, managing it, having claims, getting service. That's where the real difference is. And it all comes back to the same thing, and that is who that agent represents at any point in time. With independent agents, they are representing you, the customer. With online, you're representing yourself. And through a direct carrier, they are representing their company. That's it for today. I hope this helps. Keep it in mind moving forward as you're buying your insurance. Think about who it is you want to work for you. And one last thing. Most people, when they hear independent agent or broker, they think about real estate and they think about having to pay extra commissions or extra fees. And understand that working with an independent agent, you don't pay a dime more. In most cases, you're probably going to end up paying less because they're going to find you a program that is more cost effective for you, that makes more sense for you and your individual needs. So next time you take a look at your insurance, keep this in mind. My recommendation 10 out of 10 times is to work with an independent agent who you know is always working for you. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for future episodes.